Hey guys, it's Micaela. Welcome back to my channel. So many of you have been wondering and asking me on the comments what I had surgery for and stuff like that. I'm making this video to answer your question and kind of explain to y'all what happened. So a couple of a month and a half ago, I had mentioned in one of my videos, I think it's titled like ovarian cyst or something like that, but I'll leave the link in the description box so you guys can go and watch that video. Well, it's a vlog, but I kind of talked to you guys about what was going on and stuff like that. Anyways, I kind of talk about me having this pelvic pain and like pain in my ovaries and all those things. This had been going on for a while already, and I kind of felt like after I had Naomi, everything changed, like my body, like body wise and like periods and all that. So a little back history on my body, I guess. I got my period when I was about to be 13. I remember I was in 6th grade. My period has always been irregular, and sometimes I would go like 3 months without having my period, and then sometimes I would get it every month and stuff like that. So that's why it makes it irregular. I really didn't have a lot of cramps or pain like during my period and stuff like that. Not that I noticed. I guess I really didn't pay too much attention to it. That's how it was going down. For a while, even after I had Kayla, my period was still the same. I really wasn't like a heavy bleeder. Does that sound weird? My period was never heavy. It was just like normal. I guess it wasn't too light, but it wasn't heavy. I think it was normal. Naomi came by, and after having her, I started noticing that I was getting like heavier periods and pain and all these things. So I did notice it, but I really didn't put attention to it, so I just kind of threw it in the back of my mind. I was still being irregular, still skipping periods, and sometimes I would get my period each month, and sometimes I'll go like 3 months without it. And especially when I was breastfeeding, I didn't get my period at all. So I was breastfeeding Naomi for almost 2 years. No, for 2 years and some months. I think she was on the boob like for 2 years and 3 months or so, somewhere around there. I can't really remember, but she was on the boob and she would have bottles sometimes. While I was breastfeeding, I didn't get my period, but I started noticing once Naomi was not breastfeeding as often, I started getting my period again. So I noticed that it was heavier and it was painful. So the time went by, and I think like everything started to kind of get worse like 6 months ago. That's when it started like interfering with my everyday life and started to become a problem in my life. You know, I was in pain all the time. I was so exhausted, like extremely sleepy. Like sleeping at night and taking a nap during the day was not enough for me. I just felt so exhausted and so tired, and I didn't feel like doing anything. I was in the mood for anything. I was moody. Everything would bother me. Like I feel sorry for my husband. Sometimes I would like snap and just start arguing with her, you know, for no reason. I was in pain every single day, and I started getting nauseous. Like I started noticing before getting my period, like 2 weeks before getting my period, I would be so nauseous, like so nauseous, and headaches and tired. So I was taking pregnancy tests like every single month, you know. I'm like, oh, I might be pregnant, because there was sometimes that I wasn't using protection. I don't know if this is too TMI, but this talk is about women, you know. We're talking about women reproductive system and what women go through. So if you feel offended about me talking about sex and all these things, you need to exit out, you know. Anyways, being serious, guys, I would think I would be pregnant. I would take pregnancy tests, and they would always come negative. So this nauseous and all that, it was because of something going on with my body, you know. I would complain to my husband every single day, I'm in pain, I need to like lay down, my stomach hurts really bad. And it was like on my pelvic area, you know, like by your ovaries and all that. I don't know, it just felt like this pain, and I felt like bubbles like on my ovaries. I have no clue what it was. Things got real, and that's when I started freaking out. When I started bleeding out of the blue, I would go to the bathroom and I would pee and then I would wipe and there was blood, you know. It wasn't blood in my urine, it was blood, like vaginal blood. Sorry, TMI, but you know, there might be women going through this, so I just kind of want to make a video and talk to you guys about what my symptoms were. So sometimes bleed for 3 days, and it wasn't heavy bleeding or anything, but it was just blood. That's just not normal, just bleeding out of the blue. I started telling my husband, you know, I've been bleeding and all this, so he started getting scared, and he would tell me, you need to go to a doctor, you need to go to a doctor. I would just come through one ear and go through the other one. I'm the type of person that doesn't like to take medicine and doesn't like to go to the doctor, so I put it on hold for a while. I finally called a gynecologist and I made an appointment, and they gave it to me like 2 weeks later. So it was finally the day of my appointment, and I went to my appointment, and you know, they ask you questions and your history. So I told the lady that I was having pelvic pain, I was having bleeding like for no reason, I was having painful intercourse. Yes, painful intercourse. Like when I had sex, it was painful. It was so painful, and I couldn't, you know, because it just hurt a lot. And that was also concerning me because it's just not normal. Doing a little rewind, you know, when you feel sick and all that, a lot of people turn to Google. I turned to Google, and it was horrible, horrible, horrible. All the symptoms that I had were pointing out to ovarian cancer. I was over here freaking out. I was freaking my husband out. We were so scared because all the symptoms I had it: horrible bloating, vaginal bleeding, pain during sex, painful urination, what else, the nausea, feeling full, like when you eat you would feel full really fast, and everything, all those symptoms I had. So I was so scared of having ovarian cancer or like cervical cancer or something. So also that is what made me go to the doctor. Fast forwarding, when I was at the doctor's office, the doctor finally came in and he asked me, so what's going on? And I told him all the symptoms I had. So he told me to lay down. He did like a pelvic exam. He didn't do a pap smear or anything like that. He stuck his hand in there to feel like on my ovaries and my uterus and all that stuff. He was trying to look for cysts, for any type of cysts, and he said I didn't have any. And he was like, this shouldn't hurt, so if it hurts, tell me. So he started moving his hand. I don't know what he was feeling for, and oh my goodness, it was so painful. It just hurt so bad. I told him, oh my goodness, it hurts so bad. He was like, it's not supposed to hurt. I was like, well, it hurts. I'm like, it hurts really bad. And he was like, do you feel like if something is stabbing you or like a needle stabbing you? And I was like, yes, it's really painful. So he finally finished doing what he was doing, and those were like the worst 15 seconds of my life. Like, it was horrible. He helped me up, and I still had the little drape on, you know, because they give you like this little thing to cover up and stuff. It's like, okay, so I think you have something called endometriosis. I was like, what? Endometriosis? And I was like, well, what is endometriosis? And he gave me the pamphlet. He just said it's something that happens to some women and it's painful, and he really didn't give me that much information because he wasn't sure about it. He just told me to read the pamphlet. He's like, do you plan on having babies soon? I was like, not anytime soon. It was like, okay, do you want to get on birth control for 5 years? I was like, no. And I was like, well, the only way we can really do a diagnosis if you do have endometriosis is by doing a laparoscopy. And I had no idea what a laparoscopy was. So he told me it was like an incision that they do in your, like on your navel, and they go in and they see all your goodies, like your ovaries, your uterus, your intestines, and everything they can see. When you have endometriosis, each time that you have your period, you bleed outside of your uterus. So you're bleeding like inside of your body. So that causes like scarring and tissue that forms up, and it's like webbing. So it can web up your, like, the web can grow and it can stick to your like pelvic bone, to your backbone, to your ovaries, to your uterus, to your intestines. it kind of like it sticks together. It makes your organs stick together, so it can cause infertility. And by the way, endometriosis doesn't have a cure. I'm gonna call it a disease because it's a disease. It doesn't have a cure. They don't really know what's the reason that causes it. They think it's hereditary, but I don't know. My mom or my sister haven't been diagnosed with it, so I don't know if it's hereditary. You never know. So yeah, that's what it is. It's really painful, and it interferes with your everyday life. When he told me about having surgery and all that, I was scared, so I told him that I was going to think about it. I was going to talk to my husband about it to see what he wanted to do. Obviously, after the appointment, I called my husband. I was like, oh my goodness, I have bad news. It's like the doctor thinks I have endometriosis. He was like, what is that? So I explained to him what it was, and we went home. We talked about it. We talked about it for a couple of days, and then we decided that we were going to go ahead and do the laparoscopy. We just wanted to make sure that endometriosis was the reason of my pain, and the reason of my bleeding, and the reason of painful intercourse and all that. So I was scheduled for my laparoscopy. So they did the laparoscopy and they checked everything inside. So he explained to me, he was like, you have endometriosis, and he explained to me where it was and everything that he did. I have endometriosis, and it's not fun knowing that you have some type of disease that it doesn't have a cure, So basically, as long as they don't come up with something to cure it, I'm gonna be stuck with this disease for the rest of my life, and it's not a good feeling, and it can cause infertility. They can also do treatment on the same day they are diagnosing you. If they go inside and they say, oh, she has endometriosis, they will try to get rid of it. So that's what he did. He said he got rid of it, but he said unfortunately it's gonna grow back. It grows back. It doesn't go away. It just goes away for a while, but it comes back. So what can I do? Like, what about the pain and all that? He's like, getting pregnant helps, with the pain, because you don't bleed for 9 months. Each time that you have your period, it gets worse, it causes more pain, it causes more scarring and all that. So each time that you have a period, which is every month, your endometriosis gets worse. So it's like, well, getting pregnant is an option, getting on birth control is another option, but it's not an option of curing the endometriosis. It's just an option of helping with the pain. I did a lot of research about the birth control, and many women would say it didn't help. It would just get them really moody. They would gain a lot of weight and all these things. So I'm pretty sure the birth control, I haven't had good experience with birth control, so I'm pretty sure that is checked out on my list. I'm not doing birth control pills. My other option is being pregnant. I can't be pregnant all the time, for it to help with the pain. I can't be pregnant my whole life. Another option is getting a full hysterectomy, and I'm obviously not doing that because I'm too young. I'm not ready to get rid of my goodies, No, that's not an option for me, not at this time, unless it would get really, really bad. Then I wouldn't have another option. As for now, after having my surgery, I really haven't had a lot of pain anymore. Just a little teeny tiny pain. I think because it's still healing, like inside my body, what they did, and probably that's why I'm still having a little bit of pain. We do plan on having more kids. I don't know when, or I don't know if anytime soon. I don't think anytime soon. I'm not ready for another baby right now. I feel like Micaela and Naomi are enough for me right now. I don't think I can handle another baby at this time, I just hope this pain doesn't come back, because it's not fun to live your everyday life with constant pain every single day. It interferes with your life, and it interferes with your partner's life, because they see everything that you go through, and it's just not good. I hope this video answers everyone's questions. If you guys have more questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. And yeah, so I hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.